Hello, everyone. Welcome to my final paper presentation. I'm Shuyan. And first of all, I'm sorry about the all caps in this page and the others because I'm using this special template. But anyways, the theme is the contradiction between the uniformity and the individuality in modern China. And my goal is to present different aspects of the individuality by walking through 7 works of a single artist, Ai Weiwei, whom we're really familiar with. They reflect on 3 different matters: in China's manufacturing industry, the Sichuan earthquake, and the imprisonment of him and his friends. So in the first aspect, the manufacturing industry, this work, Sunflower Seeds, is probably his most famous work ever. And in this work, there are 1 million of porcelain-made sunflower seeds piling up in a pyramid shape. And there is this analogy between the Chinese society or the Chinese government as the sunflower and the Chinese individuals as the sunflower seeds. So from this work, there's no way for a viewer to tell one sunflower seeds from another, in the same way that we cannot tell one individual worker from another in this Chinese society, indicating that industrialization in China and the nature of Chinese government ignored the idea of the individuality of the worker and the people. The second work, 和谐, is of the similar manner. So instead of using sunflower seeds made of porcelain, where we've seen thousands of crabs made of porcelain. But what's interesting is the word 和谐 in Chinese. So 和谐 means the river crabs. And its pronunciation is really similar to the word harmonized. So imagine yourself as a Chinese YouTuber posting videos on the Chinese version of YouTube. Assume someday that your video got censored by the government because you are telling something that you're not supposed to tell. There's no way for you to tell your viewers, like, oh no, I'm sorry, my work got censored by the government, or my work got harmonized by the government, because like the internet surveillance people would find you and something's gonna happen. So then these Chinese YouTubers started to use the word river crabs to indicating that their work got harmonized by the government to get away with the internet surveillance, which is probably not just a Chinese thing. But anyways, this work is quite similar to the sunflower seeds, but the name and the river crabs inside this work sort of stress more on the censorship side than the sunflower work, which is on the relation between the individuals and the society. So in the third work, Forever Bicycles, there are over 1,000 bicycles frames piling up to form a well-defined geometrical shape. So Forever Bicycles in the title is actually a specific brand of bicycles in China. And it's sort of like Volkswagen, but it's for bicycles. It's like bicycles for the people. So this specific brand represents the Chinese peasants, which are the primary human resource for the industrialization of China. And as you can see that by piling up thousands of individual bicycle frames, we get this well-defined geometrical shape. But on the other hand, we sort of lost track of these individual bicycles, the same way that we can lose track of like individuals in a society like that. Okay, the second event is the Sichuan earthquake, which is the most severe natural disasters happened in China over the past 20 years. And it happens in 2008 and caused the casualty of over 80,000 people. So in the first work, we've seen these Chinese characters on the facade of the museum, maybe in Germany. And the translation would be, she lived happily on this world for 7 years. So the work is composed by over 90,000 school bags that Ai Weiwei collected from the remnant of the Sichuan earthquake. And as Ai Weiwei went back to Sichuan after the earthquake, he talked to the local people, and one devastating mother told him that she lost her daughter, and the daughter lived in this world happily for 7 years. So it's a extremely sad story. But the idea of this work is that we've seen these code numbers from the media about the casualty from the earthquake, but what we should really focus on are these individual narratives and the individual suffering in this earthquake. And in the Second World Strait, there are thousands of iron rods piling up here, and these iron rods are mostly broken, represents like the loss of thousands of lives from the earthquake. And another aspect of this work is to indicating that despite the power of the earthquake, another reason for this vast number of casualties is actually the fragile building that is terribly made in the Sichuan province. So in our last event, the imprisonment, the first work is used to represent Ye Haiyan, who is a Chinese feminist, that got arrested by the Chinese government and then moved overseas. And in this work, Ai Weiwei collected all of Ye Haiyan's belongings in China, and indicating that this woman totally lost like her life in China just because she chose to be a feminist. In the last work, Scared, Ai Weiwei depicted his own harassment by the government in a really direct way. And you can see this work, even though like all of the works that I introduced are sarcastic towards the Chinese government, this one is particularly direct. And yeah, and this is pretty much all of the works that I'm going to introduce in my gallery from my final paper. And I think all of the works together represented 3 different aspects of individuality. The first is the individual role in a society, and the second is the individual narratives in a natural disaster, and the third is the individual conflict of identity as an artist while also as a Chinese citizen. So in my final paper, I'm going to relate these 3 different aspects of individualities together by going through all the works, and then gives an overall examination of the issue of individuality in China. And thank you so much for watching.